Welcome, brave souls, to Terrifying Tales. We delve into horror's depths, each story a nerve-wracking cobweb spun from nightmares. Brace yourself and let imagination take over. A chilling ride awaits. Remember, no turning back now. Let the journey into the terrifying unknown begin. In the shadowy depths of our world, unspeakable horrors lurk. A chilling triptych of terror awaits, each tale more gruesome than the last. Stories that expose the macabre underbelly of existence where mortal fear runs a relentless marathon. Prepare yourselves, dear listeners, for a journey into the terrifying unknown. Our first tale plunges us into a macabre melody of murder, a grim tale that begins in the quiet confines of a small, seemingly peaceful town. The scenery, idyllic and picturesque, belies the darkness lurking beneath. Nestled between towering trees and winding rivers, this town is a beautiful facade for the dread that is about to unfold. The air fills with a chilling concerto of carnage. It starts subtly. A cat disappearing here, a strange footprint there. The townsfolk whisper, a cloak of uncertainty falling upon them. Nights become longer, days colder. The light of innocence flickers and then dies. The story, however, does not rest, but rather it seizes this moment of despair and dances, each ghastly act more gruesome than the last. The first victim, a young woman with dreams as bright as the stars, is discovered in the town square. Flashes of red against the stark white snow, her life extinguished too soon. The town mourns, doors are bolted, windows shuttered. Fear permeates the once jovial atmosphere, sucking the joy from the very air. The second act of this grim play introduces a new character. A stranger, his face hidden beneath a hood, his eyes devoid of any feeling. He carries an aura of dread, his mere presence enough to send shivers down the spine of the bravest men. His silent footfalls echo through the cobblestone streets, a haunting reminder of the terror that grips the town. The suspense crescendos, its piercing pitch echoing in our ears. The town is on edge, every creak, every whisper sending hearts racing. The nights are no longer silent, but filled with terrified screams and mournful cries. The harmony of daily life has been replaced by a cacophony of dread. The once vibrant town square now a stage for a macabre ballet. As the tale continues to unfold, the true nature of the horror becomes apparent. He is not merely a man, but a manifestation of the town's deepest fears. He is the embodiment of the darkness that lies within each of us, a reflection of our most primal fears. His actions, while horrifying, are a reminder of the fragility of life and the potential for evil that resides within us all. The deaths continue, each one more gruesome than the last. The town, once a picture of serenity, is now a haunting landscape of fear and despair. The people live in constant terror, their lives dominated by the ever-present threat of the stranger. The town's children no longer play in the streets, the laughter replaced by terrified whispers and fearful glances. In the end, the true horror of the tale is not the stranger, but the transformation of the town. A place once filled with joy and laughter has by fear and despair. The stranger's actions have merely served to amplify the darkness that was already present, a haunting mirror of the human condition. The tale reaches its climax, the suspense reaching a fever pitch. The stranger is confronted, a final battle that will determine the fate of the town. The scene is tense, the air thick with anticipation. The outcome is uncertain, the future of the town hanging in the balance. In this haunting harmony of horror, death was the final note. The stranger's reign of terror ends, but the scars remain. The town will never be the same, its innocence forever lost. The tale ends, leaving us with a chilling reminder of the darkness that lies within us all. The melody of murder fades, but its echoes will forever linger in our hearts. Let us now descend into a catacomb where insanity is the reigning monarch, an unholy realm far removed from your ordinary maze. This is no simple construction of stone walls and pebbled paths. Instead, this labyrinth is hewn from the very essence of fear and despair, carved by the hands of a man who has long since surrendered to the clutches of madness. It is an expedition into the abyss, a plunge into the darkest recesses of the human psyche. Conjure, if you dare, the image of our second tale's unhinged murderer. An entity that embodies the purest form of terror, exuding a repulsive aura that arouses revulsion and horror in all who witness him. He is not just a man, but a manifestation of the darkness that festers within each one of us. His existence is a gruesome testament to a reality where sanity is distorted and the commonplace morphs into the grotesque. Each aspect of this murderer is designed to send shivers down your spine. His laughter is not jovial but a bone-chilling symphony of madness. His grin indicates not happiness but a twisted delight in his malevolent actions. His stare is not merely vacant, it is an abyss, utterly devoid of compassion, empathy, and the faintest hint of humanity. He personifies the deepest dread, a living embodiment of the darkest fears, feasting on the terror of those unfortunate enough to encounter him. Wonder, if you will, what makes this world so bone-chillingly horrifying. Is it the all-consuming darkness or the ceaseless unpredictability keeping us in a state of perpetual unease? It's a realm where reason is systematically dismantled, replaced by the cold and relentless grip of insanity. It is an environment where the laws of reality are twisted and warped, where the inconceivable becomes the standard. It is a dominion where the rationale are deemed insane and the insane are revered as deities. The atmosphere in this damned place is heavy with the scent of pure terror, each breath a desperate gasp for a sanity rapidly slipping away. The shadows here are not mere absence of light, but manifestations of fear that swallow up everything, engulfing the walls, the floor, the ceiling, in a blanket of impenetrable darkness. The labyrinth's convoluted pathways only serve to disorient further, as if the walls themselves warp and transform with each step you dare to take. The reverberations in this place are not of voices, but of screams, the tormented wails of those who have lost their way, their sanity, their very identity. These are the echoes of the abandoned, the damned, the lost souls. Every chilling echo serves as a grim reminder of the grim fate that awaits those who enter this demonic maze. In this world ruled by madness, sanity becomes a distant, fading memory, an echo lost in the winding corridors of the mind. It is the first casualty, the first offering made at the altar of fear. It is a luxury no longer within reach, a concept that quickly dissipates amongst the lurking shadows and echoing screams of this horrifying labyrinth. The terror of this maze extends beyond its physical boundaries. It is a mirror to the mind, revealing the darkest, most hidden corners of the psyche. A realm where nightmares assume physical form, where fears are personified, where humanity's darkest thoughts are given free rein. In this mental labyrinth there are no heroes or villains, only prey. A world echoing with the cries of the lost, consumed by the shadows of the forsaken. A domain where hope is a scarce resource, where despair holds unchallenged supremacy. In this contorted maze, sanity was the first casualty. Every step taken deeper into its abyss is a step away from reason, from comprehension, from humanity. It is a journey into the depths of madness, a descent into a world where nothing is as it appears, and sanity is a forgotten echo. Our final tale takes us to the edge of an abyss filled with abhorrent anguish. It's a place where hope seems like a long-lost fantasy, woven into the dark tapestry of despair that envelops all who dare to tread here. The abyss, vast and seemingly infinite, holds secrets that human minds are not capable of truly comprehending. It's a place that fosters the macabre, nurturing it with the fuel of terror emanating from the hearts of the people who have been unfortunate enough to come across this black hole of despair. At the centre of our tale is an individual, a tormentor who took pleasure in the pain and fear of others. His was not a villainy rooted in greed or power. Instead, his joy was the sadistic satisfaction derived from the cries and whimpering of his victims. He was a maestro, directing a symphony not of music but of pain, not of melodies but of screams, not of orchestra but of helpless souls. His symphony echoed through the endless abyss, becoming a haunting lullaby that lulled the heartless void into a sense of chilling satisfaction. The tormentor was a master of his craft, each act of his treachery meticulously planned and executed. He revelled in the agony of his victims, their pleas for mercy only adding to the cacophony of his terrifying symphony. Every tear shed, every plea made, every scream let out was a note in his composition, and he made sure each was played to its full potential. His victims were not just his prey, but his orchestra, and he was their conductor, directing their suffering with the precision of a true maestro. The horror amplified as the tormentor brought his cruel show to a chilling denouement. The grand finale of his dreadful symphony, always designed to leave a lasting impression of fear and despair. His abyss, his stage, was a reflection of his soul, dark and twisted, drinking in the terror that he so skillfully curated. The echoes of his symphony lingered long after the finale, an eerie reminder of the terrible ordeal his victims had to endure. In this dreadful abyss, hope was not just lost but swallowed whole. It was consumed, devoured by the monstrous entity that was the abyss itself. The abyss was not just a place but a being, a living nightmare that thrived on the hopelessness and desperation of its victims. It was a beast that feasted on the fragments of shattered dreams and broken spirits. In this abyss, the only thing that flourished was despair, a vile weed that choked the last vestiges of hope. But our tale does not end here, for every abyss holds a story of despair and sorrow, of fear and torment, but also a story of survival and hope. For even in the darkest abyss, there is a glimmer of hope, a tiny flicker of light that refuses to be extinguished. And it's this tiny flicker that the survivors hold on to, a beacon of hope that guides them through the unfathomable darkness. In this dreadful abyss, hope was swallowed whole. No matter how faint or fleeting, the flame of hope always illuminates the darkest path. And it's this hope that forms the backbone of our final tale, a tale that unfolds on the edge of an abyss filled with abhorrent anguish. A marathon of mortal fear has run its course tonight. We've traversed the Shroud of Mystery, danced to a Symphony of Slaughter, and navigated the Labyrinth of Lunacy, only to plunge into the Abyss of Agony. Each tale a chilling reminder of the gruesome realities that lurk in the shadows. Remember, dear listeners, in the theatre of terror, the stage is set for your nightmares. As the curtain falls on tonight's marathon of mortal fear, we find ourselves standing at the edge of the eerie encore. If these tales of terror have sent shivers down your spine, do not forget to subscribe. Feed your fear. Keep the horror alive with a like on this video. And remember, your thoughts are the lifeblood of this macabre medium. Share them in the comments below. Until we meet again in this theatre of the twisted, sleep tight. And remember, don't let the bedbugs, or worse, bite.